Hey guys, it's that time again. It is Saturday, and we have another edition of the Pocket Change Market Report. I'm all choked up all of a sudden just by how incredible some of these sold listings have been here in the last couple days. So, this is for the June 5th episode. Of course, it's probably the 6th by the time you're watching this. And there you go. Find it, list it, make some money. All the listings that I talk about in this video are coins that you have found in Pocket Change. Maybe you went through that jar of coins that's been accumulating for about 10 years. That's even awesomer yet. Or if you're an avid coin roll hunter, okay, and you want to supplement the things that you find like silver. Silver is always a big draw, especially for roll hunters that like to look through dimes, quarters, and half dollars. But how about some of the errors and varieties? Sometimes these coins sell for so many more times than the actual value of, say, a 40% half dollar or a 90% half dollar. I mean, it's just going to blow your mind. So, a couple quick observances so far this week. All right. Number one, the diversity of different coins being found in change today is huge. I'm talking, there's probably a couple coins in here that I could honestly say I've never personally seen before in my life. And they are ripe for being a new discovery. And we all know, if you find something new, that's a big deal. Not only can you get your name attributed to a new find, through the websites that attribute certain varieties and errors, but you can also make a huge amount of money because you have, in hindsight, a discovery piece. So there's a few coins that I want to talk about in here. Another thing, holy crap, Lincoln Pennies have been dominating the scene here lately. And I can honestly say, this is the denomination, not domination, although pennies have dominated this week. This is the one singular denomination that I have touted up for the last 10 years as being the closet, quote unquote, coin in which you can make a lot of money off of. Okay, it's a small denomination. It costs so little bit of money to obtain so many rolls of these if you went to the bank. In comparison to half dollars, okay, where you get order $1,000 box or $500 box of these larger denomination coins, when you could just go ahead and look through these pennies and find things that are way more valuable than some of those coins that you can find in those larger denomination boxes. So I'm looking down this list. Over half of the listings in the Pocket Change Market Report are all pennies. You got to get excited about that. So before we actually jump into the actual video, I have a huge announcement to make. Okay, and this is all because of one of my regular viewers, Tim Pace. Thank you, sir. You gave me inspiration and an idea for a regular segment in which I'm going to go ahead and, follow in the footsteps to some of the more successful YouTubers that deal in coin roll hunting, but I'm going to add a twist. All right, and this is where you, the viewer, can take advantage of it. So I'm going to be launching what they call the Blue Ridge Bounty. Okay, what that really is every single week I'm going to be doing 2, 3, maybe even 4 coin roll hunting videos. They could be small amounts, they could be full boxes, and the big idea is for every variety, for every error, for every piece of silver, for every weird proof coin or whatever that comes out of these boxes, guess what? That's going to be money that goes into a pool, and then at the end of the month, I'm going to give it away to one lucky viewer. All right. So there's going to be more details on that here probably sometime this weekend. We're going to get started on it really quickly. I've already assembled some rolls, or not assembled, but I've already picked up some rolls at the bank. And, at the end of the month, we can end up with $100, $200, $300 that's going to be given away. And it's going to be a monthly recurring program. And that is the Blue Ridge Bounty. All right, it's a coin roll hunting kind of like viewership, membership plus. That's free. Okay, there's no obligation. You just have to watch my videos, guys, and cash in. So let's go ahead and jump into this Pocket Change Market Report. We're 5 minutes in already, Blue Ridge, and you didn't do jack diddly squat. Well, now it begins. with this first coin that I think is something very interesting. Now, this is a 2003 Philadelphia Arkansas State quarter. All right, I've got a ton of these that probably look the same condition. Okay, but not once did I ever look for this particular anomaly. Now, the person that was selling this on eBay had mentioned that this is like a double beak variety or something like that. I firmly believe it is probably a die clash, but I don't know for sure. I think just the mere shape of this anomaly under this bird bill right here is kind of crazy, okay? Because it really could look like a double beak, strike of some sort, but there's no doubling anywhere else. Which is why I'm more along the lines believing that it is some sort of die clash. All right, but this is a very interesting coin that I've never personally seen before. And to give you an idea of how relevant this is today, as far as interest level, it did sell for $34.90. Keep in mind the condition is garbage on this thing. It's easily an XF, maybe a low AU50 that has seen tons of circulation. Nobody really even cared about the coin until one eagle eye collector noticed this anomaly right here. So, awesome. Congrats to the seller. This is a really nice piece here. A lot of question marks surrounding it. Hopefully it's something even more relevant than what it is. All right, so the next coin that we have here, again, it really helps that if you have a great magnifier, you're going to be able to see some of these details that, people love. All right, so this is on face value, looks like a standard run-of-the-mill 1995 Lincoln Cent. It is not the double die obverse, in case you're wondering. That's not on here. But if you had a great magnifier, 8 to 10 times power, again, I have those for sale in the description box below. Just go ahead and hit show more or hit the little gray little down arrow if you're on a mobile device and open that up. You're going to have a whole bunch of Amazon links to go through of various product. But on the reverse of the coin, you have a really nice, substantial, long die crack that goes from the rim through the O and of, and then through the U and pluribus, through this one little dot right here, and into the memorial. And it goes all the way down. You can actually see it go down one of the columns, and then it just ends there. But this coin right here drew enough attention, and there was actually a little bit better quality photo of the close-up of that particular crack, that this one sold for $15.50. Now, as on a side note, all right, the seller did try and also promote this as being a doubled die, although it does have die deterioration doubling, which is very common on these copper-coated zinc Lincoln Cents. So keep that in mind when you do see something like that, that's really all it is, unless it's one of the major doubled dies. But the die crack certainly boosted the amount of money that typically you wouldn't see on a coin unless it was the double die obverse number one. All right, so the next one that we have here is one of a few off-center Lincolns. This is a 2000 Philadelphia. It's not a wide AM, just in case you're wondering, but this one right here is about 20% off-center. It's a nice looking, decent coin. It is off-center enough that it is still about the size of a Lincoln Cent. So this is something that you could find in a coin roll if you had to. I mean, when it gets even more off-center than this, then that's where it becomes more impossible because the coin is just a lot bigger. It wouldn't fit in a standard paper roll. But this one sold for $11 here in the last day. Pretty cool. All right, so here's another one right here. Although this one looks off-center, the reason why it is not is because you have full rims and full devices on both the obverse and the reverse of the coin. All right, so this is generally where the rim would be. Now it's flattened down quite a bit on the obverse. You can see it a little bit better. But when you have a full coin like this where it appears to look off-center, what this really is a partial tilted collar. All right, so the collar isn't completely seated up to the coin during the strike, so it allowed some of that metal flow to come out, and it gives the appearance of an off-center coin. But you have a full image. If it was a true off-center coin, then you would see the actual edge come probably right up to Roosevelt's head right here, as opposed to a normal spacing as you would see on a regular Roosevelt dime. So this one right here sold for $11.75. Pretty nice coin. Really neat error. All right, so this one looks like undeniably dog meat. Okay, so it looks damaged. It's got plenty of damaged rim nicks. It's even got a pretty substantial ding here. You got some areas of nicks and dents and scratches and all sorts of other stuff. On face value, this coin looks like a throwaway specimen. Like, put it back in the pile, send it back to the bank. But this Lincoln Memorial here has no date. It's got this really substantial, large lamination area. So you got a delamination area right here. Again, these coins, depending on the severity of the lamination, has somewhat of a secondary market value. This one sold for $10.48 here in the last day. All right, so even coins that have been beat up, that appear to look road rashed, might hide a different little secret that you could cash in on. All right, so this one right here, this one can trip up a few folks, okay, based off of the weakness on this Lincoln wheat cent that you see right here and right here. Some would speculate and argue that this is a strike-through coin, like a struck-through grease. But there is only one thing that could occur that will make this happen. And what it is a tapered planchet. For those of you that don't know what a tapered planchet is, it is exactly like it sounds. The planchet has a consistent thickness all the way across from one edge to another. But when you have a coin that appears thick on one side and then thin on the other, then you're going to have what they call a tapered planchet. So obviously this is the skinnier, thinner edge or side of the planchet. And when it was struck, it didn't strike down the details all the way on both sides. So keep an eye out for stuff like this. This one sold for $13.48. A relatively neat find. I come across these every so often, and they're just neat to find. Okay, it's like a $10 bill every time you find one. So we have a $20 Federal Reserve note. This is a 1981 series. So we don't see a lot of these smaller head notes that day and age anymore. They just kind of like have phased out quite a bit to this point. You might come across a few of them every so often. But, you know, the same error can also be found on some of the newer notes. So what they call this particular error where you have these voids is a gutter fold. Okay, and really it's simple to understand. The sheet had a couple wrinkles in it before the printing occurred. So when the printing was all done, you could literally stretch out those wrinkles, and then you'll have what they call gutter folds right here, where you have the actual voids where the ink didn't quite get into that area. But it's really neat, and again, double-sided. You can see it as such, and it's a very visually, nice error to find. But this one right here sold for $149.95. When you get multiple gutters on the same note, regardless of denomination, it gets more valuable. And especially when it fans out like that, it's really cool. All right, so one of my favorite coins, but I think the message is more here. Look out for these cut die breaks. As you can see, a big old piece of the die had fallen off here at the base of Lincoln, and it has translated into a big blob. Okay, just a void. And, of course, on the reverse, you'll have the corresponding weakness of where that cut is. But it is also worth mentioning, only because I just saw it, a few minutes ago before the broadcast as I was reviewing the images. But there's even a neat little strike through here above the bead. Now, the strike through on its own doesn't, add any significant value, but the cut is where it's at. This one right here is sold for $64.49. A combination of a 1-year type zinc-coated steel planchet coin that's popular all over the place, and this cut error. You put them together and you have a coin that's very, very valuable. All right, so how many of these quarters have we been finding out there? Okay, there's still quite a few coins that are in great shape between 2013 to current date. And especially you folks there on the East Coast, you could really take advantage of some of the errors that the Philadelphia Mint has cranked out over the years. This is one of them. 2018 Philadelphia Cumberland Island National Park quarter has this pretty neat and quite sizable die chip. It's actually quite common to find on these coins. And that's the big reason why you would look for them. Now, how much does something like this go for? Well, this one's sold for $5, which is, a very respectable amount of money for an error that exists quite frequently out there in change. So keep an eye out for this. For each one you find, bam, it's a $5 bill back to back to back. You find 4 or 5 or 6 of them in a box, then you're raking in the money. Okay, just let the cash register ring in your head every time you find one of these, and that just makes it much more exciting. You just want to continue the search. It is a really cool endeavor. All right, so this next one right here has a really mild off-center strike, a 1966 Lincoln Memorial cent. As you can see, probably, I don't know, 3-4% off-center. But the coin in itself is very well circulated. So keep that in mind, that these coins do come out of rolls, all right, on occasion. And this one has seen a lot of circulation, a lot of changing of hands over the years. And it is until now, 2020, that this one hit the open market. And it's sold for $14.98. Again, it is a mild off-center coin, easily found in a bankroll. Okay, so this is one of my favorite varieties to look for. It's on the 1963 D Lincoln Memorial cent. This is a coin that I have found quite frequently, all right, when I coin roll hunt. And I encourage you guys to take a look at this coin and make sure that you pull it out when you find it. Because each one you find, cha-ching, $20 bill each and every single time. I have made a lot of great supplemental money just by selling this one variety. So the 63D, what does it have? It's the DDO, the FS101 variety. You could actually see the extra inner tail here of the 3, and then the bottom loop tail of the 3 is going to be right here. That is so strong. That is incredibly strong. And I would say that, yeah, you could probably find this with the naked eye, but to get, a confirmation, be sure you use your magnifier, your jeweler's loupe. That's an important tool device. And if you can afford $10, buy one. They are cheap. They are inexpensive. But yeah, this is one right here that's sold for $24.65. All right, by the time you factor in shipping and fees and all that, bam, you made $19-20. It's easy money. And we have seen decent looking varieties with great photos sell for a premium these days, especially on eBay. All right, this one right here is, I'm going to let you guys take a stab at it, okay? Is it an off-center coin or is it a partial tilted color? All right, what do you see on this coin that kind of sways you one way or the other? Well, if you guessed a partial tilted color, you are correct. Okay, and the big reason is you have full rims on this thing, even though it looks like it's a little off-center. But you also have a full rim on the reverse. And, yeah, the color isn't quite seated all the way onto the coin, so you have some of the extra metal flow coming out on the strike. But, again, this is a really neat coin that pops up when you least expect it. They are relatively common out there, so make sure you keep an eye out for it. This one sold for $18.50. Okay, that's money in the bank, guys. I'm throwing up 5s, 10s, 20s out there to kind of get your guys' blood flowing. This is real money that people are paying for these coins. All right, so we got another really neat Lincoln cent here. 54D holds a lot of different nice varieties. Okay, this one right here undoubtedly is the D over D RPM that you need to look out for. This one's sold for $19.75. As you can see, the condition is not a super premium high-end example. Okay, it's like an XF40, which is par for the course for some of these older wheat cents. Okay, that's just the way they look sometimes. But nearly $20 sold for this coin. I'll take it. All right, more die chips, this time on an unlikely candidate, a 2000D Roosevelt dime. This one has a big old gnaw on the back of Roosevelt's head. And yeah, this is a pretty substantial die chip. on the obverse, and this one sold for 12 smackaroons, $12. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Again, keep an eye on every single coin. You just never know what you're going to find. This is a testament to that. So the one listing where I give 100% praise and kudos to the actual photography work goes to GN Coin on eBay. So this is a quick shout out to GN Coin Photography. He has, I guess his services are available if you need it, for some premium photography, but this boy is crisp. Some of the best photography I've seen on coins, great lighting. So I recommend it. The moment I saw it, I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. You can actually see the textured surface of the actual coin itself. It is so smooth and decadent. It's like a chocolate mousse pudding. But anyways, this one is indeed the DDO that everybody looks for $95. Still quite common to find. I found one out of a grab bag lot that I picked up on eBay. I don't think that was supposed to be in there, but anyways, a pretty neat variety. All right, this one right here is sold for $41.95. It still has some pretty good secondary market action. Lincoln pennies are so cool. Man, they are hot. They are hot for sure. All right, so the 2000 Sacagawea dollar marked a new kind of like evolution in dollar coins. Unfortunately, it never really received great fanfare. All right, it was a coin that I was like, I'd rather just use a good old dollar bill for crying out loud. But if you're lucky to find, soda machines or vending machines that actually spit out these things, I would definitely keep an eye out for this one hot variety. Now, it is on the Philadelphia minted 2000 Sacagawea dollar, and it is the Speared Eagle variety. Okay, you can actually see the die scratch here. There's actually a pair of them that go through the eagle's body area right here next to the leg, and then there's another one in there too right here that's pretty faint. But this is one that I always tell you, if you find it, this is a lot of money. How much are we talking about here? Well, this one example sold for $150 best offer. It's a really nice condition coin, probably a mint state 62 example. But even coins that are much lesser grades, like AU 50, 53, 55, all right, still command close to a C-note each and every single time. So really cool coin. This one is the bee's knees, and if you like going through dollar coins, this is definitely a huge target. All right, more national park goodness. This time, this is on a 2019 West Point quarter. This is the River of No Return, Idaho National Park quarter. Now, the one thing that you'll notice is that there is some sort of neat little thing on Washington's profile here. And upon closer examination, it's a depression. Okay, so this was sold as a interesting strike through, and it is. Okay, there was either like a gob of grease on the die before this thing was struck, which is common. Okay, that's the only way that they can lubricate the chassis, so to speak, on these machines. But an errant gob of goo on the die will translate into a depression on the coin. Okay, or weakness in the devices. This particular coin right here, get this, guys, sold for a best offer of $102.98. I'm not making stuff up like this, guys. Just look on eBay. It's on there. Crazy amount of money. $100 for a raw 2019 West Point quarter. Just seems really good to me. But as you guys know, in 2020, there are, especially the West Points, there are a lot of weird mint mistakes that you can find on those quarters that are worth a lot of money. Look through every single one of your West Point quarters for 2020, because the West Point, as we know it, they used to crank out quality material. They've been slipping up, all right? And that translates to big profits. So this one just screams CUD, a die break. Obviously, the usage of any punctuation marks is vastly important to get your point across. But this is a Philadelphia minted National Park quarter, as you can see on that red oval at the bottom, there is indeed a cut. Now they call these rim cuts because it doesn't go into the actual fields of the coin or into the design any. So it just affects the rim area, but that's a close-up view. It's not a ding, all right? As you can see the reeds are very much present, unintrusive, unhit, undamaged. Looks good. So how much does something like this go for? Again, these are coins that typically, gets overlooked quite often. But this one right here is sold for $14.40. It's a 2017 Ozark Riverways, by the way, in case you're wondering. All right, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot to look at here. It just looks like your run-of-the-mill 61D Lincoln Memorial cent. It looks like it's, it's what I've put in my change jar for many years in this same condition. Brown, unloved, VFXF condition. But this one right here has a pretty nice strike through underneath Liberty. Or this could be a little bit of a lamination that had come off after the strike. It could be one or the other. Really, really hard to say, but it is neat. It is small. And oftentimes, like I've said, look at the condition of the coin. Do you think this was discovered after it was struck? Heck no. This thing went through the paces. It even, probably purchased a breakfast sandwich at the convenience store. You never know. But this one right here sold for $16.80. So even things this small command quite a bit of money. Keep that in mind. All right, this one right here, really cool. Struck through a capped die on the obverse, obviously. It's a 1950 something. I don't know, and I cannot really make out what the last digit is on this coin. But again, it looks like a struck through grease. But it's a fully involved look, strike through with a die cap. You have a full rim, and this thing is like dished in. On the reverse, you have a pretty nice little crack here. You got a few little rim bumps, so it's not perfect by any means. But this one right here sold for $29.05. Coins that are struck through a capped die are always popular. They're always valuable. I've never seen one sell for like $5-10. They just don't exist. People want nice examples, and they pay up for ones. Even one like this that obviously is not perfect by any means, but features all of the hallmarks of that particular era. 55S, again, a coin that has been overlooked and passed up by many of hands. But this one right here, this is one I've come across and found quite often. And it is indeed a BIE cent, okay? It is a die chip in between the B and E in Liberty, and these have its namesake as BIE chips. And these have a secondary market all on its own. They are popular. This one right here is sold for $20.80, which is strange because I've generally sold these for between $5 and $10. But all of a sudden, I've seen a resurgence in quality coins with nice photography of this caliber that have sold like $15, $20, $25. So are we talking about like a new collector set coming in, trying to assemble a lot of these BIE coins? It's really hard to say, but I like what I'm seeing from the secondary market. We got a couple coins left, and I've left a couple really relevant coins for you to consider. Now, Bicentennial coins have a niche all their own. I mean, you have a lot of, homers out there that want these coins, either in really nice condition, in crappy condition, with varieties on them, and errors. So this one right here has a really nice minor clip, a planchet clip on there, as you can see. And it also has the corresponding Blakesley effect on the opposite side. So it is definitely a legit error. I don't know if it's the lighting, but the coin does look clean. That's just what I come across here, or maybe there's just too much exposure to light. I'm not sure, but it does come off as being cleaned. But it could very well be a BU coin. It's really hard to say. Now, this one right here is sold for $24.19, when I am not kidding you guys. Bicentennial coinage with any errors, strike through grease, clips, off-center, you name it, command a huge, ridiculous premium on the secondary market. I cannot stress that enough. If you have the capability to find one cheap that you could flip, I would do so. If you find one in change or in rolls, I would pull it out. It doesn't matter how major, how minor it is. They all sell pretty well. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and end it off on another coin that was struck through a capped die. Okay, so this one, no date whatsoever. It's a 1990 something. I can tell you that much. Probably a Philadelphia minted coin. The reverse is perfect, man. This is what a brilliant uncirculated struck through capped die error coin looks like. This Jefferson nickel, is a very popular look into this type of coin. This one right here, in spite of it having no readable date, sold for $68.24. How crazy is that? So what do you guys think? Are you guys hopped up, ready to go, ready to search through your coins and bankrolls? The banks are open this morning, so if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hop over. See what kind of treasures you can find. So I want to thank you guys for joining on this video. As always, it's a pleasure doing the market report every single weekend to kind of get the hunting juices flowing. That's what it's all about. What are you going to do today? As you can see, you find like 4 or 5 of these on the list, and it wouldn't be out of the question to make an extra $100 to $200 every weekend. Bam, just like successively. People always ask me, Blue Ridge, do you really make this kind of money doing this? It seems like a waste of time. Well, look at the results, ladies and gentlemen. Go through a box of pennies, because it seems to me that is the hottest denomination today for varieties and errors. And I'm telling you, one box of pennies can generate a whole world of possibilities. Okay? Use your resources, your tools, and make it happen, because it is out there. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notifications. Stay tuned for the Blue Ridge Bounty, the coin roll hunting program that gives back every single month throughout the rest of the year of 2020. It's been a rough year. I've always wanted to mulligan for certain years. I think this year certainly takes the cake, and I'm going to help make it happen for a lot of you. So as always, I'm your host Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound Coinaholics. We are discovering together. You guys take care. Enjoy your hunt this weekend, whatever you may do. Enjoy the hobby. Until next time, I'll see you on the next coin video.